We're trying something new here today. Today, we're going to be sewing. And we're going to be attempting to do simplicity shorts. The ones we're doing specifically is the one that she's wearing. This model is wearing here. I'll put the name of the pattern in case people want to somewhat follow along. Now, let me just say, this is not a tutorial. I don't know what I'm doing. And patterns are hard for me. I don't have a lot of practice with patterns, but we're gonna make some shorts. This is a commission piece. I'm kidding. I am making these for Giselle though. Now, I will say, because I'm making this for somebody else, I want it to be, you know, if I'm making something for myself, I don't really care if there's a couple like mistakes or, you know, that doesn't look too professional. But because I'm making this for somebody else, I went full force and I even did a practice run, okay? So I didn't film the practice run because that was a hard watch. That would have been like 5 hours of just me staring at this pattern going, huh? But I'll show you the practice run. Okay, so these are my practice run shorts. As we can see, we got the basic idea going. So I used just a cheap fabric that I bought off of Amazon. It was like $6 for 2 yards or something like that. I guess in a sense for sewing, I'm a visual learner. So I needed to kind of see how things actually worked while I was trying to figure out what this pattern is doing. The main characteristic is gonna be this mesh pocket here. That's kind of what drew me to these shorts. Technically, I'm supposed to put a little snap button on here. I don't have any at the moment, so I'll just do that later. This is gonna be elastic. Don't mind this. I was gonna put in temporary drawstrings. Again, these are going nowhere, so that's why it looks like I don't care that I ripped it. But yeah, we're kind of. This was our practice run. I made the double XL because that's just the easiest to cut. So that's what these are. I mean, these are looking pretty. These are looking pretty snazzy. Before and after, Nutrisystem, or Weight Watchers. This is rough draft here, but that's just how my brain works. I don't think it looks too bad. Honestly, I kind of like how you can like really see the stitches, honestly, with the white and the black. Let's look at the fabric that we're going to be using today. Okay, so the fabric that we're using today is kind of a glossy, it looks like shiny. I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of shiny on this side and then it's matte on the inside. I'm just assuming that shiny goes on the outside and that's what I'm going to do. The thread is going to be black like the practice shorts, and then it's going to be more of that black mesh. If you don't, I got all these pieces pre-cut. However, I forgot to do the notches, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, don't look at the messiness. So I have the pattern kind of laid out on the floor here. Obviously, these are our main pieces of the shorts here, and then we got this. What is this? As part of the pocket. We got the waistband over here. These ones are for different versions of the shorts that we're not making. This pattern has 4 different options, and we're doing D, or this last option here. Something to note, again, this is not a tutorial, but I'm just going to talk through, you know, my observations, because I was really kind of half guessing what to do here. I still kind of half guessed in my kind of practice run, but I think I learned some good stuff. So, for example, we have our pattern here, but if you zoom in real close, right, they have these called notches, right? So these patterns come in multiple sizes. So it says like small, medium, large, XL, double XL. And then you would place your fabric and then kind of cut along the line. We're doing a medium today, so that's kind of the line we're following. But then it has these triangles, which are called notches. What I'm supposed to do, and this is what I forgot, is you're supposed to cut a little into your fabric And then it'll show you, like, when you're lining up pieces, so say, like, these two pieces, the notches would line up. So if I cut out a medium, let's see, it would be this third notch. So then you would see, kind of, if this was the fabric, you would see how these notches line up. And then that would tell you, oh, this seam is supposed to be sewn together, or something like that. This is not expert advice. This is just what I did. Okay, notches have been cut, and now we're gonna look at the instructions. So each pattern should come with some set of instructions, and honestly, they confuse the hell out of me. They confuse me so much because I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur. So they're saying terms, and I'm just like, huh? For example, here's gonna be my first step. All right, this is what I'm gonna do, because the first set of instructions all said for shorts A, right? And I'm not doing shorts A. So I basically threw out the whole first page of instructions. I don't need to look at that. Now I'm going for shorts B, right? I mean D, sorry. I'm going for shorts D. And it starts like this, step 1, right? On the outside, pin purchased twill tape to each front. I don't even know what twill tape is. I don't know what's going on in step 1. So you know what I did? I just ignored that. And I moved to step 2. And this is going to be, we're basically just constructing that front mesh pocket, and then we're going to sew it to just the front panel, and then we'll go on to actually putting the shorts together. But the first bit is just getting this pocket. So that's what I'm going to be working on. That's what we're going to do. All right, so step 1, make sure you got the right piece of fabric. We're going for this piece here because I know this is the pocket. I'm going to put this over, and I'm going to go, yes, this is the correct one. I'm also going to need to find this piece, so let's do that. And we got this one. There's 2 of them because my pattern said cut 2. So I got 2 of them. So step 1 says, I got my little baby ruler here. I also have, this is a Dave & Buster's card that I got marked with 1 inch right here and 1 inch right here because I use this for hemming jeans. I just do you kind of fold it. Technically, well, we don't have to explain that. Anyway, so sometimes I use this as a measuring guide anyway, but because the patterns tell me specific measurements, I'm going to try my best to follow what they want. So for the first one, it says, let's see, press under. Also, I'm not going to press. I'm lazy. I'm not going to iron things in between each step. I'm also not going to baste things because I'm just not that girl. So let's see. Press under 1/4 inch on the upper edge. All right. Let's get 1/4 inch. That's not very far, actually. 1/4 inch is really tiny. That's real tiny. Oh. We're getting a phone call from the customer. The customer's calling. Okay, guys, the customer was just checking on the status of the order. I told her we were halfway done. Let's get going. 1/4 inch. All right, we got that. We got that secured there. Okay, we got it secured. I will say that I use clips now instead of pins. I just think they're a lot easier to deal with. Sometimes you still have to use pins if it's like a weird shape, but so far I like them. I got them off Amazon. They're really cheap. But let's sew that together. Okay, so I got an Imperial sewing machine. I've been using this for a little bit, and honestly, I really like it. I got it from a yard sale. You know, great deal. I mean, look at this. Look at this bad boy. You see that? Majestic. So that's what I'm going to be sewing on today, guys. So let's get this all set up. Okay, I'm literally like about to run out of thread. I got more from Amazon, and honestly, scammer get scammed because I thought on the picture these were like big rolls, but they're like kind of small. But I mean, this is gonna last me just fine. But yeah, anyway, so I'm literally just gonna sew until this runs out. Also, my bobbin is almost out of thread, so we're just gonna see how long it lasts, guys. So a really fun thing about sewing is when things just don't work. I'm assuming the settings on my machine were just wrong. I haven't sewn with this fabric yet, and I didn't think about that until I sewed it right now. But it's like uneven and weird, and it's supposed to be just a straight line. That section looks pretty good right there, but the top of it is just like not it. Honestly, it's like it was. I don't know if the tension needs to be higher, but we're gonna have to redo that. Yay! Okay, that looks a lot better. I had to look up what settings to put my machine at because I didn't know. Also, I didn't realize I'm working with a very delicate fabric that frays really easy, and the back looks bad because I used my seam ripper, right, to get the seam out, and I ended up freaking just shanking the whole fabric. So it's all like frayed and weird. But I'm gonna kind of like cut that as close as I can. Luckily this is like the inside of the pocket, so you're gonna see that side. You're not gonna see that side. All right, so we did the exact same thing with the mesh here, because this is our contrast piece, and now we're gonna start connecting them. All right, so we got the two pieces sewed together. I got a nice little pocket here. I'm gonna inside this out, and then I have the short piece here. We're gonna attach it to the front. And then, just so we have a little idea of where we're headed, this is gonna kind of make a flap that goes down like that over the shorts. See, this is a moment I couldn't use my clippies, because it's like in the center of it. So I did actually use real pins. Guys, I was sewing and I just realized I was in the most god-awful goblin posture. It was like this. And now I'm gonna be better. Yep, guys. This is how I sew every single time, guys. I totally just don't slowly go down like this until I'm this close. Okay guys, so this is the pocket on the front of the shorts here. So obviously we're attached. For the pattern, I'm not sure I like this choice, but they basically give you two pockets in one. So instead, what I thought the pocket was gonna be is like, you put something, you know, you put something in the pocket, right? And it's like, snap. I don't have my buttons yet, but there'd be like a snap button here. But they also have the layer behind it, and I reread this thing like 30 billion times. The layer behind it, I didn't sew shut, so technically you could put it in here. I mean, I guess that's good for, if that's what you want. Extra two pockets there. But yeah, and then obviously there's attached here, folds over, and then you button it. Oh, you can kind of see the shininess in the camera. We're going for a shiny look. Okay, so I'm kind of half interpreting what's going on here, but the pattern says we're going to start attaching legs. So it says stitch front to back at inner leg seams matching notches. And it's for step 19, which is this one. When it's darker, I think that means that's the right side of the fabric. So I'm putting two right sides together, and I'm just gonna sew it at this little spot here. Okay guys, we're moving on to the pockets because we can't sew the leg together because this is one leg. This whole piece is one leg. I can't sew the leg together yet until I got pockets. So I got one pocket on, and then I'm gonna put the second pocket on this front side because this has the fancy pocket. And then I'll kind of attach them both, kind of like that, with the pocket. And hopefully that'll be it. Okay guys, we got the pocket sewed on. Now I'm gonna inside it out and see if it makes logical sense, or if I have to redo it. It seems like we do one leg at a time. So here's like the one leg. This is the left leg. And we got pocket here. That's looking like it makes sense. I mean when it's flat, yeah, when it's flat, that's how it would look like. And then you got your pocket. I think we did it. I did try something called understitching for the first time. I have no idea if I did it right, but yeah, that's good. Okay, I got the whole left leg finished, but what I'm gonna do before I move on to the right leg is I'm going to, I guess I call it finish the seams. I don't know what the actual term is, but I'm basically going to do, since I don't have a serger, I'm going to do a zigzag stitch real close to this one, another straight stitch next to the zigzag, so it's like a really tight seam with zigzags in between, so that it'll be really, you know, tough. It won't come undone easy, because this is just, everything's a straight stitch right now. So on all these kind of, you know, sturdy parts, like the inside of the leg, the side of the leg. Honestly, I'm debating if I should zigzag the pockets as well. No, I probably should, in case you overload the pockets with a bunch of stuff. Inner leg, side leg, pockets. We're gonna do that. Okay, so I did the exact same thing, obviously just without the pocket, but I got the other leg. And now I'm basically gonna have to insert one leg into the other and then sew them together. All right, I got them sewed and trimmed and I don't know what you call that, fortified. I'm gonna pretend I totally didn't check that it was already in shorts shape. So let's just pretend together, guys. Oh my gosh, guys, I hope it's right. I hope it makes shorts. Ah, don't lick my pajama pants. All right, one leg. Let's do it. Let's do a test run. Okay, so these aren't for me. Pretend. That's looking pretty good. Giselle's gonna model her own shorts. Yeah, so I still have to add the waistband, and then we'll do the length as desired. Yeah. You don't want Adam Sandler shorts?
Look, Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. I need to fix the pocket, guys. Guys, I have the pockets going like that instead of like that. That's okay, guys. See, we explore these issues.
I want to zoom in on your face when you realize.
No, because I was looking at them and I was like, why is it gapping like that? And I was like, I think, because they had me stitch it like once across the top to like attach the flappy pocket, and I attached it to the back, and I think I need to flip it and attach it to the front. Okay, so the pocket mistake I was talking about is it had me sew it to the top to like secure the pocket so it wasn't like, you know, facing the wrong way, but what I did is I sewed it in the wrong way. So I'm just gonna detach it and then basically flop it over, like instead of like this, I'm gonna flop it over here and sew it to the top of here instead. And I think that should fix the issue. Okay guys, we flipped the pockets. We flipped the pockets around. So this pocket's on the front. Now the pockets go toward the front, not toward the back. I love this, guys. Okay guys, we're getting started on the waistband. I sewed just kind of the first two parts together, And now I'm gonna go kind of around a couple times. I also have elastic. I'm gonna put an elastic band on this one. I think the pattern does both, to be honest. I think it has a drawstring and the elastic. The drawstring, obviously, just for the look of it. I'm just gonna do elastic. I didn't buy any drawstring. Oh my god. Why does my finger look like a cooked sausage? I was confused why there's like 3 stitches, but I just basted the edges together, so I only had 1 instead of 3. I was confused. And then it said stitch on the stitch lines, and I was like, pardon? Stitch on the stitch lines? So then I looked back at the pattern, and it literally tells me where the stitch lines are. This little white line here. I marked it with some chalk. And then there's another one over here that you can see that one. So I'm gonna stitch. I'm not gonna do a basting stitch. I'm gonna do a regular stitch over these 2 spots here. And I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Hi guys, welcome back to sewing mistakes with the noob sewist seamstress, Ollie MB7. So I ran into a little issue. So I intentionally made a hole in here because I need to fit this elastic. I need to like wind it through at the end. So I had this hole, but I had it in the wrong spot because it shouldn't be separate on the fold line. It should be separate like in between this, so then I can feed so the waistband can sit like that. So we're gonna have to redo that. We're gonna have to redo it. To where now I'm gonna move this gap away from the fold line. I'm gonna have it so it's all within this half here. So the hole should be here instead of here. Listen.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods, top-notch hoes, get the most, not the
So after a super professional meeting with my clients, it looks like we're gonna take about a total. We're gonna do 4 inches less, but I'm gonna cut off 3 inches and then, you kind of roll to hem the bottom of it. So I'm going to cut 3 inches off, hem them, and then we should be ready for the final look. It's been so long.